I never knew a simple Black Friday receipt, a crumpled slip of paper tossed into the bottom of my wife's handbag, would become the weapon that destroyed everything I thought was real. It's strange, isn't it? How a marriage built over 10 years, thousands of conversations, countless memories, can collapse because of a few printed lines on thermal paper. But that's exactly what happened. And the worst part? She thought I would never find it. She thought she was too smart, too careful, too perfect at lying. But lies always leave a trail. Sometimes that trail is a text message. Sometimes it's a scent. Sometimes it's a missing hour on a random Thursday. But for me, it was a Black Friday receipt. A receipt that didn't make sense. A receipt for something I never bought. Something she never told me about. Something that didn't fit in our home or our life. I didn't know then just how deep the betrayal went. I didn't know that the receipt was only the beginning, that behind that small piece of paper was a truth so painful it would change who I was as a man. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the story of how she betrayed me, how I uncovered her secret, and how I walked away stronger than she ever expected. Before we go deeper, if you're still listening, hit the like button. Trust me, the real twist hasn't even started. My name is Ariv, and if you had asked me a year ago, I would have said I had the perfect marriage. Not perfect in the fairy tale sense, no. We argued, we disagreed, we struggled financially sometimes. But through all of that, I believed in my wife, Mira. We'd been together since university. She studied interior design. I studied business. She was creative, passionate, loud in all the ways I wasn't. I was calm, logical, careful. She said I balanced her. We married young at 24. We built a small but peaceful life. A rented apartment, evening walks, cheap dinners, whispered dreams. We had our circle of friends. Raghav, my childhood friend. Sarah, Myra's coworker. Kabir, our upstairs neighbor who often borrowed sugar just to chit-chat. We weren't rich, but we had love, and at that time, love felt enough. Mira used to surprise me with small moments. A handwritten note in my lunchbox. A movie night after a long workday. A cup of tea on rainy evenings. I used to think those gestures meant she loved me deeply. And maybe she did. Once. Before life changed us. Before temptation changed her. Our problems didn't start suddenly. They built slowly, like drops of water wearing down stone. It began with her new job. She joined a prestigious design firm, working under Arjun Malhotra, a man 10 years older, extremely successful and known for his charm. Everyone at her job talked about him. Women admired him. Men wanted to be him. I remember joking once, "So, when are you going to run away with your handsome boss?" She laughed, but the way she looked away for half a second, a tiny hesitation, flicker, I ignored it, because why would I suspect the woman who shared her life with me? In those early months, she began working late. Projects, deadlines, client meetings, or so she said. Back then, I believed her. I wanted to believe her. Trust was easier than doubt. One evening, I made her favorite dinner, butter chicken and garlic naan. She came home late, exhausted, and said she had already eaten with colleagues. She didn't look guilty. She didn't look different. She just looked tired. So I told myself it was normal. Work was draining her. I needed to be supportive. I didn't know that this was the first sign. Flash forward a year later. It was Black Friday week, and Mira was excited about the sales. "We should buy a new TV," she said. "Ours is too old." But suddenly she changed the plan. "No, actually I'll go alone. I know exactly what to get." That surprised me. We always shopped together. But she hugged me, kissed my cheek, and said, "Don't worry, I'll find the best deals. You relax." I smiled. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? She left at 6 a.m. with a smile and a shopping list that didn't include anything suspicious. Nothing unusual. Nothing expensive. She came home at 4 p.m. Tired, but strangely glowing. Like she had done something exciting. "Did you get good deals?" I asked. She nodded. "Yeah. But it wasn't that great this year." Then she rushed to her room to change clothes. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. Now, looking back, I know she wasn't hiding her clothes. She was hiding her guilt. And if you're still here, subscribe to Betrayal Tells, because what comes next exposed everything she tried to bury. A week passed. Life carried on. We didn't talk much. She was busier than usual. Then came that moment. The one that cracked my world open. Mira had left her handbag on the dining table. She never did that. She always kept it in the closet. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't suspicious. I was just looking for a pen. When I opened the small side pocket, something brushed my fingers. Paper. A receipt. A Black Friday receipt. First I smiled. Oh, this must be something she bought for us. But when I looked closer, my smile faded. The receipt wasn't for anything we used. It wasn't for anything she told me about. It wasn't for anything normal. It was for a pair of men's luxury leather gloves. Size large. Brand Ariston. Price $189. Gift packaging included. Men's gloves. Luxury gloves. Size large. I stared at it. My hands were medium, and I never wore gloves. Ever. A chill traveled up my spine. Why would my wife buy expensive men's gloves? And hide the receipt? This was the moment where the perfect marriage story ends. And the nightmare begins. If you feel what I'm feeling right now, comment "Stay strong," because things are about to get much worse. I stared at that Black Friday receipt for a full minute before my brain could process anything. Luxury men's gloves. Size large. Gift wrapped. Gift wrapped. Gift wrapped. That detail kept echoing in my skull. People don't gift wrap something for themselves. People don't secretly buy luxury male items for no one. People definitely don't hide the receipt of an innocent purchase. A cold uneasiness gripped me, but I told myself, no. Stop. Don't jump to conclusions. You're overthinking. I set the receipt on the table and took a long breath. But the thing about suspicion is, once it enters your mind, it doesn't leave. It grows. It spreads. It becomes a shadow that follows every thought. I folded the receipt and placed it back exactly where I found it. I didn't want her to know I saw it. Not yet. That evening, I watched her more closely. When she came home from work, her hair slightly messy, lipstick faded, I asked casually, "How was your day?" She froze for a split second. A small, barely noticeable pause. Then she smiled too quickly. "Good. Just hectic." Her eyes avoided mine. She rushed to the kitchen. Something was off. A week ago, I would have missed it. Now, every small detail screamed like an alarm. Over the next few days, I noticed things. Not huge things. Not obvious things. Just changes. She started guarding her phone more. Once, when I walked into the room, she instantly flipped her phone screen down. Another time, she walked out to the balcony to take a call. She had never done that in 10 years of marriage. Her perfume changed too. She used to wear a mild jasmine scent. But suddenly, she started using something deeper, richer, seductively bold. And she dressed differently. Not slutty, not cheap, but deliberately elegant. Silk blouses, long earrings, red lipstick on a Monday. For office? Or for someone in the office? One day, I ran into her coworker, Sarah, at a cafe near our home. She looked surprised to see me. "Hey, long time no see," she smiled. We talked casually. "How's Mira these days at work?" I asked, pretending to be relaxed. Sarah hesitated. Just a second. Just enough. "She's good, very busy." She bit her lip. Then she added, "You know, she's been staying late almost every day with our June." Something tightened in my chest. "Late?" I repeated, though I already knew the answer. "Yeah, they've been working on some big project together. They're very close, I think. Very close." The words stung. When I got home that night, I stared at Mira while she scrolled through her phone, smiling at her screen like she was reading a love poem. "Who are you texting?" I asked. "No one. Just memes," she said, turning the phone away. Something inside me began to crumble. I needed to talk to someone. I called my closest friend, Raghav, and told him everything. He listened quietly, then sighed deeply. "Ariv, I need to tell you something. My heartbeat quickened. What? I've seen Mira. Twice. Not with you. Not alone. I froze. Where? With who? He swallowed hard. With a guy. Tall. Around your wife's office area. They looked close. My hand trembled. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Because I wasn't sure. But now, with everything you're saying. He sighed again. I think something's going on. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. Still, I wasn't ready to accuse her. Not without proof. Not until I saw it myself. From that point on, every day felt heavy. I watched her smile, but I didn't see warmth. I watched her speak, but I didn't hear love. I watched her leave the house, but I didn't know if she was going to work, or to him. Couldn't sleep. I couldn't focus. I couldn't breathe properly whenever she hugged me. I kept replaying that stupid Black Friday receipt in my mind. Luxury men's gloves. Size large. Gift wrapped. Who were they for? One Thursday evening, she came home glowing. Her face flushed like she had been laughing with someone. Her lips still tinted red. Her perfume stronger than usual. I walked up to her and gently held her hand. You look happy. She jerked her hand away, startled. Oh, yeah. Just a good day. A good day. I didn't press further. But that night, I made a decision. A quiet, painful, inevitable decision. I had to know the truth. Even if it broke me. If you're still listening, hit like, because the truth coming next will tear the story wide open. I didn't want to hire a private investigator. I didn't want to go through her phone. I didn't want to confront her without proof. But I needed to see it myself. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. Friday morning, she told me she had a client meeting. She wore a beautiful maroon blouse, gold earrings, and tied her hair in a stylish ponytail. She looked perfect. Perfect for someone else. I waited 10 minutes after she left, then quietly walked out and took a taxi. I told the driver to keep distance. I followed her through traffic, through the office district to a hotel area. My heart pounded. Sweat dripped down my back. Please, please don't go into a hotel, I whispered to myself. She didn't. She stopped at a cafe near a mall. Relief washed over me. But then, a tall man approached her. Tall, broad shoulders, wearing a brown leather jacket. He hugged her. Not side hug, not friendly hug. A full body, intimate, familiar hug. My stomach twisted violently. She laughed. Beautifully, openly. The way she hadn't laughed with me in months. I froze. That man. He was Arjun, her boss. My vision blurred. My wife. My Mira. My partner. Smiling like a teenager in love. With another man. She touched his arm. He whispered something into her ear. She blushed. Felt like someone stabbed me. But the worst part? They looked like a couple. Not guilty. Not nervous. Just natural. Like this wasn't their first time. As I stood frozen in the mall, my phone buzzed. Kabir, our neighbor. Bro, you okay? You look pale. He had spotted me. I didn't know he was there too. I whispered, don't draw attention. Mira is here. With another man. His eyes widened. No way. She? Are you sure? I'm looking at them right now. He exhaled sharply. Bro, whatever you do, don't confront her here. You need proof. You need to stay calm. His voice steadied me. He was right. So I took out my phone. Hands shaking. Heart breaking. And I recorded everything. The gloves. The laughter. The touch on his arm. The way he leaned into her. Everything. I thought that was the end. I thought the affair was the story. But I was wrong. Because when I followed them to the parking lot, something happened I did not expect. They reached a white BMW. Arjun's car. She opened the passenger door and said, I hope she doesn't find out. She? A woman? My heart stopped. Arjun smirked. She won't. She thinks I'm traveling this month. Mira sighed. I hate lying. But if she leaves you, we can finally be together. She, Arjun's wife. My wife wasn't cheating with a single man. She was helping a married man cheat on his wife. My wife wasn't just betraying me. She was part of a double betrayal. Parallel marriage destroyed, just like mine. And the twist? Arjun's wife was Sarah's cousin. The same Sarah who tried to warn me. This was deeper than I imagined. Much, much deeper. If you're still here, subscribe to Betrayal Tells. The moment I walked out of that apartment after confronting Ian, I felt something inside me shift. Something that had been asleep for years. It wasn't rage. It wasn't sadness. It was clarity. For the first time in months, maybe years, I saw things exactly as they were, cold, sharp, and unmistakably real. The love I had been fighting to protect was already dead. The loyalty I had been holding on to was one-sided. And the marriage I had been trying to save didn't exist anymore. But the man who walked out of that apartment, he wasn't the same man who walked in. He wasn't broken. He wasn't confused. He wasn't afraid. No, he was awake. As soon as the cold December air hit my face, I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, "It's my turn now. No yelling, no begging, no chasing. This time, I was going to end this on my terms. And she was going to feel it." Before I even reached my car, my phone buzzed. It was Sarah. A message. A long one. I didn't even open it. I slid the phone back into my pocket. Not now. I drove home slowly, letting everything process in silence. Every memory, every lie, every fake smile, every late-night shopping trip, every morning when she hugged me with the same hands she used to betray me, every "I love you" that now tasted like poison. By the time I reached home, I had a plan. But before I could start, I needed to see my can't-be-fooled, brutally honest sister Amal. She always knew when something was wrong. She always read my soul like an open book. And she was about to read the darkest chapter yet. At Amal's house, I knocked. She opened. And before I said a word, she whispered, "What happened?" I didn't cry. I didn't collapse. I didn't break. I simply said, "She's cheating." The silence that followed was the kind that burns the air. Then, quietly, Amal hugged me. One of those long, grounding hugs that remind you you're not alone. When she finally stepped back, she wiped her own tears and said, "Tell me everything." And I did. The lipstick, the hotel receipts, the text messages, the lingerie, the apartment, and everything. She listened without interrupting, without dramatizing, without judgment. When I finished, she whispered, "So what are you going to do?" And for the first time, I said it out loud. "I'm going to end it." But then I added, "Not today, not emotionally, not in pieces." I exhaled deeply. She destroyed me quietly. I will walk away loudly. Amal nodded, her eyes glowing with protective rage. "Good. If you're still here with me, hit like, because trust me, the real twist hasn't even started yet." I spent the next 4 days gathering everything. Screenshots of her messages, bank statements, withdrawal history, hotel bookings, her secret Instagram account, photos she thought she had deleted, doorbell camera footage, call logs, chats with Ian, his messages to her, her grocery shopping excuses, the untouched dinner plates, the hidden perfume bottle she only wore for him. Every lie she crafted had a digital footprint. Every betrayal she committed had a timestamp. Every kiss she gave him had a price she paid using my card. By the end of the 4th night, I had a full 63-page PDF. Labeled, "Truth, not for revenge, not for anger, for accountability." On Friday, exactly 1 week after Black Friday, I made her breakfast. Just like old times. Omelette, toast, tea, the works. She walked into the kitchen, smiling softly, like nothing had happened. Like she wasn't breaking me piece by piece. She kissed my cheek. That same fake kiss I had been receiving for months. "Morning," she said sweetly. "Morning," I replied. No anger. No bitterness. Just calm. She sat. I placed her food. I watched her eat. And I said nothing. Because sometimes, silence hurts more than confrontation. She tried small talk. I offered small smiles. She touched my hand. I didn't pull back. She thought she was safe. She thought the storm had passed. She thought she had fooled me again. But storms don't disappear. They gather. Quietly, powerfully, patiently, and then they strike. That evening, I asked her, "Let's go out tonight. Just us. Dinner. Like old times." Her eyes lit up. She thought I was trying to fix the marriage. She thought she was winning. She touched my arm and whispered, "Yes, I'd like that." Inside, I almost laughed at the irony. Outside, I smiled warmly. "Great. Wear your best dress." She blushed, like a teenager, not knowing she was dressing up for her own downfall. We went to a beautiful candlelit place, the one where I proposed. The symbolism wasn't accidental. Everything was intentional. Every step, every word, every moment. As soon as we sat down, the waiter brought an envelope, the one I asked him to deliver at the table. Sarah looked confused. "What's this?" "Open it," I said softly. She opened. Inside were screenshots, receipts, photos, timestamps, chats, her parking logs, her location history, everything she thought I would never find. And the Black Friday receipt that started it all. She froze. Her face drained of color. Her breath caught. Her hands trembled. She looked up at me, like a criminal caught mid-crime. "What is this?" she whispered. I leaned back, calm as winter frost. "Evidence." Her lips quivered. "Please, listen." "No," I said. "For once, you listen." I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I didn't insult. I simply spoke. Softly, clearly, coldly. "You didn't just betray me. You betrayed every version of me that loved you." She covered her mouth. Tears began falling. I continued. "You betrayed the man who held your hand through every storm. The man who trusted every word you said. The man who defended you when others questioned you." Her sobbing grew louder. The restaurant fell silent. I lowered my tone and said, "You killed our marriage long before I discovered the receipts." Then I stood up, calm, firm, unshakable. "This dinner isn't a reconciliation. It's a goodbye." She reached for my hand with frantic desperation. "Please, don't do this, please. I can explain." I pulled my hand away. "Explain it to your lawyer." And with that, I walked out, leaving her with the very evidence she created. Leaving her drowning in the consequences she earned. Leaving her with the pain she had fed me for months. But most importantly, I walked out with my dignity intact. If you felt that shift, comment "Stay strong," because the final twist will shock you. I thought it was over. I thought my story had reached its final chapter. I was wrong. 3 days later, Ian showed up at my door. But not alone. Behind him stood a woman. His wife. Her eyes were swollen, her face exhausted, but her posture unbreakable. "My name is Zara," she said. "I think you and I need to talk." And suddenly, everything made sense. The signs, the timing, the secrecy, the apartment. It wasn't Ian's bachelor place. It was their home. And Sarah wasn't just cheating. She was part of a double betrayal. Zara invited me inside her car. Close enough to talk. Far away enough to avoid being seen by Sarah. She revealed everything. The affair had been going on for almost a year. Not just Black Friday. Not just recently. A full year of lies. A year of stolen afternoons. A year of 2 marriages collapsing in silence. But then she dropped the real bomb. Ian told me Sarah wants him to leave me and marry her. I felt my entire chest tighten. "Marry her," I repeated. Zara nodded. "And he agreed until he saw the evidence you collected." He realized she lied to him about many things too. I almost laughed at the poetic justice. The cheaters had cheated each other. 1 week later, divorce papers were filed. And on the morning Sarah came to sign them, she arrived with a suitcase. "I'm moving out," she whispered. I nodded, but something in her eyes looked strange. She placed the suitcase down, opened it, and pulled out all the gifts I had given her over the years. Every letter, every picture, every ring, every memory. "I don't deserve to keep these," she whispered, crying. You were a better husband than I ever deserved. I said nothing, not out of coldness, out of acceptance. She signed. I signed. It was done. But as she reached the door, she turned one last time and whispered, He left me too. I froze. She swallowed hard. Ian, he left me, he said. I ruined everything. And in that moment, I realized something painful but liberating. She didn't just lose me. She lost her affair partner. She lost both homes, both lives, both illusions. And I walked away clean, whole, free. If someone can betray you once, they will betray the person they cheated with too. Loyalty stolen is never loyalty kept. Love built on lies collapses on itself. And trust given to the wrong person always returns as a lesson.